Hey, Emilia. Thank you very much for joining me for this 15 minutes in AI in private equity interview. Before we dive in, let's each do a quick intro so our listeners get a sense of who we are and the perspectives we bring. Happy to kick things off on my side. I'm Daniel, the CEO and co-founder of Capsa. After speaking with more than 200 GPs, we set out to build a platform that uses AI to tackle the most time-consuming parts of due diligence for private equity teams. Handing over to you.
Thank you, Danielle. I'm Emilia Sherifova. I am a CTO by background, I guess. I've been doing technology for the last 30 years. And in my last job, I was a partner and CTO of KKR, a large alternative asset manager. And at the moment, I am working on launching an AI-first asset manager. Thank you.
Great. Thanks for joining us, Emilia. Really glad to have you here. Let's kick things off with a few questions around how AI is changing the game in private equity. From your experience, which parts of the deal lifecycle, like sourcing, due diligence, portfolio management, have the most untapped potential for AI-driven efficiency or insights?
Yeah, no, despite the buzz about all of the exciting things that are happening on the AI front for the PE firms, I do believe that most PE firms remain in the dark ages. They lack the cultural wiring to think automation and AI first, meaning AI is not embedded in how they source, diligence, manage, and run operations. This leaves out the entire deal and fund and even investor life cycles totally under-optimized and wide open for reinvention. I believe the biggest hurdle is not tooling, it's not technology, it's that very few firms ask, how can AI do this better? How can we rethink our processes with AI and, of course, human at the same time from the outset thinking this through? So this blind spot spans all the way from sourcing to diligence to IC processes, portco operations, and even communications with the clients. And of course, beneath the general lack, there's a real alpha generating opportunity. And I believe that's AI-driven transformations of portfolio companies. This is where the next generation of PE performance will come out. My firm has developed a proprietary AI-driven value creation playbook that specifically designs to turn legacy financial services like insurance and asset management companies into AI-enabled businesses, embedding automation and intelligence into every function from underwriting to claims to compliance to distribution, and of course, unlocking efficiency and new revenue streams and new client segments with AI-first business lines and products. So to me, ultimately, the firms that will win in the future are living and breathing AI, and they infuse AI into the DNA of their processes and of their portfolio companies. And this is where the delta between financial engineering and real operational alpha will be clearest.
Super helpful insights. I appreciate it, Emilia. Very interesting. What about data security and compliance? They are obviously massive priorities in the industry. What do you see as the biggest challenges around AI-driven workflows in that context, and what best practices would you recommend?
Security, data compliance, regulatory adherence should be non-negotiable in any firm. And that's how it is. In a high-trust environments where sensitive financial data and institutional relationships are at stake, a strong compliance posture is not a bottleneck. It's a table stakes. But very often, compliance is used as an excuse and reason not to move forward with this technology and AI. Instead of serving as a framework for responsible innovation and thoughtful constraints, it becomes a bureaucratic shield against experimentation. Teams are often told to wait for the perfect policy, for the perfect tooling, for the perfect audit trail, while competitors are already deploying AI models inside business workflow. To be honest, the truth is it's entirely possible and it's absolutely necessary to do both, to both innovate with AI and do that in a compliant and secure manner. To build security and compliance into the culture and technical architecture from day one, while still pushing for the real world use and learning through AI. ensuring that AI is in the hands of deal teams, operating partners, and analysts, and done so responsibly is absolutely essential. And that onus is on the companies to do both. And I believe the firms that will survive and lead in the next era are those that will recognize that compliance and speed are not opposites. They are core requirements for relevance.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. Thank you very much, Emilia. Another topic that we constantly get asked about is like how to measure ROI. Many firms want to exactly know how to measure the impact of AI solutions. Which metrics or performance indicators do you think best capture whether an AI tool is really delivering value?
I would say I have a similar kind of thought process here as I've had with compliance and security points. I often feel like ROI and KPIs and OKRs are often gamed and often used as a reason to slow down the adoption. I believe while ROI is often, critically cited as an adoption requirement, in practice, it's often a convenient excuse to delay things. I think private equity firms in particular can fall into the trap of demanding quantifiable ROI because that's what they do as investors, right? But asking for ROI in AI initiatives without recognizing that the very act of using technology is what enables future return is a really missed opportunity. AI adoption is not plug and play. It requires time to learn, time to experiment, time to build fluency across teams. And early stage benefits may not be immediately available or translate to the bottom line, but they're no less critical. In fact, they are precondition for getting the ROI. Familiarity, cultural alignment, internal capability building are leading indicators for ROI, even if they're not easily captured in the traditional metrics. The firms that invest early and despite perfect metrics gain a compounding advantage. They move faster, they learn faster, and ultimately they realize greater value. In that sense, usage precedes ROI, not the other way around. And PE firms must stop viewing AI ROI through the lens of quarterly return cycle and instead treat it as a strategic capability investment. Just as operational transformation requires time, iteration, and effort, so does AI. And waiting for a guaranteed return before acting is a surefire way to fall behind.
Very interesting insights. Appreciate it, Emilia. Another key topic is obviously also around, smaller PE firms adopting this technology, not just the big leading institutions that you work for instance, as well. For smaller PE firms or new managers, where should they start if they want to adopt AI for deal processes?
Emerging managers often believe that they need scale and budget to adopt AI. I've had numerous conversations with many smaller emerging managers, and that's sort of their mantra. But that, I believe, is a myth. The real risk isn't imperfect implementation or an army of AI engineer. The real risk is non-use. Even simply using general purpose LLMs like ChatGPT for research, modeling support, sim summaries, or strategic ideation builds the muscle memory you will need to lead in the AI-powered industry. If you're not actively using AI tools to support everything you do, from diligence to deal sourcing to reporting to portfolio optimization, you are training your team for a world that no longer exists. This isn't about innovation theater. It's about survival. There's no wait and see model left. There is no wait and see mode left. The compound advantage goes to those who start learning now, even imperfectly. For emerging managers, using AI isn't optional. It's existential.
Super helpful. I appreciate it, Emilia. The last question I have, and that's probably the $1 million question, looking 5 years down the line, where do you see the biggest gaps or opportunities for AI in private equity?
As a technology leader, as an AI leader, I am continuously thinking and trying to live in the future, especially given how exponential this technology is. And I have been mulling over for a long time where this industry is going, given where we are, and given the delta where in terms of where AI is going and how fast it's going. I believe the next 5 years will be defined by a radically more competitive landscape, both for deals and performance. With the golden era of low interest rates being over and differentiation in sourcing and operational alpha will become the defining edge in private equity. And that edge will be enabled by AI. Enough said. I believe, AI-driven deal sourcing will become table stakes. As the market tightens, firms will need proprietary algorithmic sourcing engines that match their niche thematic sort of focus, and also finding like off-market opportunities aligned with this precisely with their thesis. So static networks and generic SIMs won't cut out. I also believe that this will be an era when operator-led AI transformations will take center stage. The real alpha will come from transforming traditional businesses, information businesses, or as A16Z calls it, bits businesses, particularly in sectors like insurance, asset management, wealth management, into AI native companies. This requires more than tech. It requires domain expert operators who are doers and have a proven track record of leading transformations from within. I also believe that roll-up strategies will become AI-enabled. PE always had one way of generating value is leveraging roll-ups. Well, I believe this time around, AI will not only accelerate integration and standardization across roll-up targets, it will power new platform models that are tech native from day one. The firms that can do that repeatedly will build category leaders fast. And by the way, that's what Spectre Capital is focused on. And I also think what I've noticed recently is that venture capital firm is already moving first in this kind of AI roll-up strategy. Progressive VC firms are already executing on AI roll-ups and embedding machine intelligence into their value creation plans. Their comfort with tech is positioning them to compete directly with PE for mid-market deals, and they're not waiting for traditional firms to catch up. So basically, to me, I feel like the line between venture and private equity is blurring, and PE firms that fail to build strong AI muscle, both from sourcing and post-acquisition transformation, are risking being left behind by more agile tech-native players. The gap over the next 5 years isn't just capability; it's mindset, structure, and speed.
Thank you, Emilia. This has been incredibly valuable. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your insights. I really appreciate you being part of the 15 minutes of AI and private equity series. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Danielle. Good luck.
Thank you.